which means you can call me maker, or sire, or master, or lord, or you can call me Cotton Eye Joe, and I'm damned if I know, but you will not call me uncle. Calling him Uncle Les is straight up disrespectful. He created you. Come on, Claudia. Welcome in as I review Interview with the Vampire episode 4. We now have been introduced to the killing machine and demonic angel Claudia, and I'm loving every minute of it. Of course, I was earlier referring to the way she constantly disrespects Lestat, the very vampire who made her, and yet she shows so much love and tenderness to Louis. Now, this is very book accurate, but I still think it's downright disrespectful. Straight up, you gotta put kids in line, okay? You're not calling me uncle. No. It also kind of has like a creepy uncle feel, but anyway, that has nothing to do with going in. So I hope you all enjoyed this one. This one was pretty intense, and I gotta say, they have changed the narrative structure, where this time it's more about Daniel. We're seeing Daniel and his issues with Parkinson's disease, and health is starting to rear its ugly face, because obviously anyone who's on the verge of death is gonna demand for eternal life when it can be so easily handed to them. Now, this isn't Vampire the Masquerade or Vampire the Requiem, that are very RPG I often talk about or referenced involving this show, which means there doesn't seem to be any governing body in Dubai that I know of in the books, which means technically nothing could stop him from making him a vampire. But that's the question. Do you want to be a 60-year-old man with the starting symptoms of Parkinson's for the rest of your life? I think Daniel needs to decide that, but obviously he is going to pop that question eventually. We all know it's coming. I thought it was interesting that Louis needed a day off, and so Daniel gets to sit down. He gets to go through some journals that they gave him. And what did they give him? They gave him the journals of Claudia. Now, the show and the writers do something very, very, very clever. I really enjoyed this one. They do this thing where her writing becomes more sophisticated slowly throughout the episode. If you notice, she's using flurry of poetic sense by the end of it, but in the beginning, it's super simple, the way a little kid would leave a diary, hence her aging mind. I love it. It was a joy to see Claudia, even though she is a killing machine. I loved the chaotic energy she brought to their usually calm house. We've seen 3 episodes of a pretty calm house for a couple of homosexual serial killers. I gotta say, it's pretty calm place. Their house is usually very mellow, but not in this case. Now, Claudia is running around, skipping, dancing around, tapping the wood, the banister every day. It was so cute. It was so adorable. I loved the show it brought, and I loved that they even went into a young woman's first love. Our first crush turned into first love. It was just amazingly done. Now, in terms of why isn't Louis giving the interview about her and he's letting her tell her own story, I think he's hiding something. Now, obviously, I don't know if you've seen the scenes for the next episode, but there's a part where Daniel says there are 4 pages ripped out of this book. And you see Louis be like, and he gives you that look that you know he's lying. I really do think that there is more to the story going on, and he himself, who keeps getting called on his lies or his bullshit from Daniel, does not want to actually lie to his face, so he's going to let her do the lying. You see, there's no greater liar than someone telling their own story, and that's what I really love about this. And there's going to be all sorts of nuanced craziness. Now, remember, the books are not sacrosanct in this because they're making some changes. So if they're going to add a few twists, I can't wait to see what these new flurries are. I found it interesting that Lestat was a grumpy old man from day one, which is probably why Claudia was disrespecting him. As soon as she enters, he's constantly snapping at her. He's constantly like, "What did I say about skipping?" As he says, and I know it seemed, I think a lot of people thought that I was insulting his accent last episode. No, I was just saying I couldn't identify what European country he was from, but I do love his performance and his Lestatness. Somebody in the comments actually had said, I think I like this more than the movie, and I shamefully have to say, I too. think I'm enjoying this way more than the movies, and I like the nuance. And what it is, I don't know how many episodes they've signed on for this season, but I really do hope that Claudia at least survives the entire season. Maybe a season finale she could go. But I hope they really do slow down, because I'm hoping we get many more episodes of Claudia. What an adorable creature. Now, I gotta say this. The actress who plays her looks stunning. She looks absolutely amazing. And I have to say, she never looked so good as when, well, the scenes where she's in love and with her boyfriend, absolutely. But I have to say, that scene where she discovers what a woman's body is. I'm sorry, I know that's a cringe comment, but you know what I'm talking about. She's gonna go murder the couple on Lover's Lane, and she stops, and she's so mesmerized. And they have this close-up of her face, and they just keep the camera on her face, showing her a vampire with those crazy eyes, and she has a little smirk on her face, and her little teeth are out, and she's just mesmerized by her body. And you could tell the way her head was moving was mirroring the curvatures of a curvy lady. It was really well done. I think this show is well done in just its execution, not just acting, and not just that it's telling us this classic story that we love so much, Interview with a Vampire, which will clearly is an eternally good story. We're gonna love it. But I think it does well on multiple levels. Like, for instance, when they go to see Nosferatu and they're all laughing at Nosferatu, and they go home, and in the silent, while something's being narrated, they show Lestat, and he puts on a silly hat, and he's mimicking Count Orloff. And I was like, even I felt like, you felt like you, speaking of uncles, like you're with your family, and you know, you got a family member who's a cut up, and he's just doing his gags. And that's the thing. We may realize that this family is super dysfunctional and destructive and bloody and murderous, but they are a beautiful family, and they're starting to feel like my family. They're my vampire family, and I'm actually really, really digging that. Now let's talk about vampiric powers for just a moment. Now apparently you cannot use auspex to peer into the mind of a vampire that you sired. I find it fascinating. I guess it makes sense that this rule has to exist so that it explains what's going on with the conspiracy. The fact that Louis and Claudia can have psychic conversations without him being aware of it is perfect for the eventual conspiracy that we know that is coming. Eventually, mom and dad are going to break up, and mommy is conspiring with her kids to run her, daddy's pockets in court. And she's gonna, yeah, that's pretty much what the analogy is. But in the vampire world, you really just kill your spouse and then you move to Europe. But I can't wait to see this. I also noticed that Lestat is also quite the dominator. He has the ability, he has domination as a power. And so he can dominate the minds of people, including groups of people. He's a very powerful vampire. Now, if you notice, they aged him down. They aged everybody down. He said he was 156, and, in the actual book, he would have been 300, 400 years old. I think he predates New French. I think we had determined that it's possible that his accent is from Old French, because in the books, he's from before the year 1400. But it would appear they've made him younger, and I guess, it's not the end of the world that they did that. But he has an immense amount of power at this point, and I can't wait to actually see how the conspiracy about him is going to unfold. As we know, this is all going, as the trailers would show us, it is not looking good for the relationship between him and Claudia. I would say that I really do hope that they show us good moments between Lestat and Claudia. Remember, there's nothing like drama when we see happiness shattered into darkness. We want to see them be happy and then suddenly be like, I hate you enough that I'm gonna murder you. And I can't wait till that happens. But next episode, I really hope that they do focus on Lestat and her getting along, preferably actually loving on each other, because that would be what's up. Now, I'm still thinking that there's going to be a conspiracy with Louis. I don't have enough moving parts to get an answer to that. But the real question is, what do you think the conspiracy is? What do you think those 4 missing pages from her diary are going to be all about? And how do you think they're going to end this season? I know this ride has only just begun, so it might be too early to talk about a season finale, but as usual, I am loving this. My only complaint about this week is that it ended too soon. It was only a 41-minute episode. But anyway, please let me know all your comments down below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And keep tuning in, my ghouls and ghosts, so we can review all the beautiful Interview with a Vampire and just talk about what it's like to be an immortal, bloodthirsty killing machine on an eternal hunt for living human blood. Till next time, ta-ta.